Heritage Court has been home to the NSIC Sanford Health Basketball Tournament for the past 8 years. And if this court could talk, it would tell you it's seen its fair share of nail-biters, blowouts, and upsets. If this court could talk, it would tell you about the crowds, the bands, and the cheerleaders that make this game day environment so special. If this court could talk, it would tell you about the heartbreak of the teams whose season came to an end right here on this hardwood. But it would also tell you about those 8 teams that celebrated as they danced into the month of March. If this court could talk, it would tell you about the blood, sweat, and tears that have been left by your predecessors. If this court could talk, what would it say about this year's quarterfinal Sunday? What would it say about the Northern State Wolves? What would it say about the lone senior, Jordan Belka? What would it say about the Upper Iowa Peacocks? What would it say about Sam, Jerice, Jackson J, Joe? How about you, Connor, Jackson F, Travis, Cade? If this court could talk, I think it would tell you to soak it all in. Because right here, this is your moment. This is your time to shine.
Maston hangs. We'll go back to the line.
You like the aggressiveness of Maston. Great recognition. Had a chance to get by him. But you go back to the ball movement on the other end. Out of that double, Smoldt was able to get the pass to the corner, and then the next one got him to the front of the rim, and then Maston attacking on this end.
Look at the stat line already for the first 8 minutes. 7 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. One of the best free throw shooters as well. It's interesting talking to Saul Phillips, saying, sign of trust, Sam Maston would suggest different wrinkles to plays that he's called. Yep. And then Saul would say, you know what, that's a good idea, do it. And putting your trust in a transfer, a familiar transfer, you know, familiarity, as you mentioned with Steve Smiley and stuff like that, but putting that faith in the transfer so early says something about Maston.
It really does. You have to earn that level of respect from your coach. You have to earn that trust. And I think that's all dependent on your work ethic, and it's also dependent on how you're seen as being a leader of this group of guys. And I think Saul Phillips has seen that from day one that Maston set foot on campus.
I think they're actually cleaning the ball. Sam Maston went out, by the way, after those free throws. So he'll get a quick breather.
It's a lot of cleaning going on. Any idea what happened over there?
Something must have happened. I don't know if it went into the Powerade or something spilled on it, but they are making sure that ball is spick and span.
Yes, they are.
Of course, when you're as competitive as these teams, they'll play with the deflated old leather ball.
Absolutely.
Maybe back in your days, you know, when the peach basket was invented.
Man, that hurt, Dave. I've seldom been hurt that deeply.
Therese Williams, deep three is off.
Actually, during that lull in the action, Saul Phillips and Coach McCown got together and kind of talked through stuff and shared a laugh as they went their separate ways. These are two experienced, well-respected coaches in this league.
Jackson Money for three.
Tell you what, Money is money from behind the arc. You know, he's West Fargo Cheyenne product. There's a guy sitting up on the set that does some basketball training in the Fargo-Moorhead area. He may have a little bit to do with the development of that young man.
Reed stripped on the drive by Bergen.
I'm referring to Freddie Coleman.
Not Jody? I mean,
Jody will take some credit. Don't get me wrong. Jody will take some credit for it, but I'm referring more so to Freddie.
Absolutely. Freddie does a wonderful job there. There's Freddie watching his old coach, Saul Phillips. Probably blissfully unaware that we have a camera on him right now. Walton Blandon ties up Smoldt. Possession arrow stays with Upper Iowa.
And I just like the aggressiveness, the tenacity of Northern State's really getting after things defensively. And you can see they're taking an experienced, composed group a little bit out of their comfort zone. That's not easy to do with this Northern Iowa team.
Shot clock winding down for Hilmer. He pulls up from the elbow and misses.
Another great defensive possession as Northern's up 5, chance to extend that lead.
Bergen, nice cut by Caleb Walton Blandon.
Well, we talk about movement without the ball, great spacing, the bigs being able to deliver a pass to one of the little men coming through the paint.
Hilmer just had it ripped away by Bergen.
We talked about that physicality. Better be prepared for it. Northern State really elevating their game on the defensive end and then finding ways to capitalize on this end of the floor.
Greedy inside, tried to go offhand. That one partially affected.
Yeah, I think he got a piece of that one. Bergen's got to be careful, those 2 fouls.
Smoldt just hits it right in his face.
Smoldt just forcing Bergen to take a little bit of a retreat step. That's all the room he needed.
Money had it poked away, but got it back.
Upper Iowa has the ability to get after you defensively as well. Active hands.
Nice feed from Walton, blended to Money, but that's rejected by Dylan Jones.
Great job of working from behind. We talked about it. Expect the contact at the rim. Don't expect the foul. Better go up strong.
Duax going right up against Money. Great defense by Jackson Money.
Again, guys keeping their hands high, maintaining legal guarding position.
Walton Blandon straight on three.
Gotta give Northern State credit. They are the ones dictating the tempo. They're the ones playing with energy, getting after this Upper Iowa team right now.
Hilmer, quick first step. That one's blocked by Money.
Great recognition by Money.
Bergen, no one picked him up.
Man, Brooks McCowan not pleased with how his group is playing, but give Northern State some credit.
Brooks McCowan wants to talk it over. Upper Iowa all of a sudden trailing by for Pentagon. 26-17. Northern State in the lead over Upper Iowa. A little spurt here for the Wolves. Quick 5-0 run, but they've been capitalizing at both ends.
They really have, and they're feeding offensively off their effort and toughness on the defensive end, especially at the rim.
Jerice Williams thought it should have been a 4-point play. With how deep he was, it might have counted for 4 points anyway. That's what he can do.
Exactly, and that's all it takes is for him to be able to see that go through once. That's going the other way, and then he backs up a big-time shot with a big-time defensive play, draws a charge, player control foul. Yeah, he extends that left arm. Easy call right in front of the official, and Upper Iowa that string a few stops together and follow up with some conversions on the offensive end. And then they got Northern State there. And credit Brooks McCowan for challenging his guys. Wait for the screen action. Use the screen action. Run your defender off the screen action. If you think Northern State's playing you physically, then take advantage of it by utilizing the screen action and getting the fouls called.
And that was a big one. That was number 2 on Sam Maston. And as you mentioned, he's kind of fighting through screens. Williams again. That one's short. Belka, Smoldt in the corner. Over to Northern State. Smoldt could not save it.
Great effort by Smoldt, chasing that thing down, trying to throw it off the Northern defender. You talked about Maston going to the bench. Put kind of Longstreet playing at the point, primary ball handler and decision maker. A ton of length on the floor for Northern State.
Reedy off the screen for 3. And that one partially affected by Hilmer.
And a great job by Hilmer to trail and then contest without fouling. Reedy, we know he can get on the rolls as well.
Williams, the scoop and the score.
You kind of get that feeling. He's starting to feel a little bit.
Longstreet, the drive, the finish, and the foul.
And it's the third one-handed, right-handed finish at the rim that we've seen. A couple for Northern, one for Upper Iowa. Nice job by Longstreet. We saw him on the offensive glass earlier. Now a chance to complete the three-point play.
You mentioned the length. Trey Longstreet is 6'7", and Saul Phillips has repeatedly called him their point guard of the future. He wants him to be a big point guard. And he doesn't score a lot. He averages just 2 points a game, so he's already surpassed that and then some with 5 here in the first half. But he's one of those kids who, he says he wants him to shoot more, he'll learn to shoot more, but for now, we like his development.
Yeah, and he's had some experience at that. In his days at North Dakota State, he had a guy by the name of Taylor Braun, who at about 6'6", 6'7", was a great point guard in the league.
Smoldt, a couple hesitations and fires anyway.
Good gosh, he's got the 6'7" Belka. But Smoldt so heady. Jab step on the third one. Belka retreats a little bit. That's all the space Smoldt needs.
Steal by Duax. Transition for the Peacocks. Smoldt tried to find Williams in the corner, but Belka got in the way.
Well, nice job by Belka to kind of make up for that uncharacteristic turnover on the other end. Actually, it was Bush that made the pass that got intercepted, but no harm, no foul for Northern State.
Belka. The dirt fadeaway is short.
Well, excellent job defensively again by Williams on some bigger players.
Smoldt will drive this time. Smoldt will go to the line.
He's flying all over at the rim. And again, I will go back to the officials. They have been consistent. You get in there, you expect the contact. Don't be begging for any fouls. But we did get one called. But it's not for the faint of heart in the painted area. I liked it. And I like the fact that neither one of these teams are backing down. They know they're adapting the way it's called.
Smoldt up to 15 now. Northern State was up 9. That leads down to 2. Mid-range, short.
And you got 5 gray jerseys getting on the defensive glass, not assuming anything. Undersized, don't want to take that for granted.
Good feet inside. Bush poked it away. Peacocks get it back.
Yeah, great backside defense by Bush. Good vision. Kind of took away an easy finish at the front of the rim.
Nick Reed for 3. Walton Blanded leading things. Back to Bush. Crossover, spin, pass. Money for 3.
Money! It's a soft touch for a big dude, David. I've seen him lifting his level of play defensively as well. Just a freshman.
Smoldt. Fadeaway 2. Rattles in. He's got 17.
There's some tough shots being made by both teams. You can tell neither one of these teams will go down without a fight. It's punch, counter punch. Too good to win a game. It's hard enough to have a winning season. To win 4 consecutive tournament championships is really, really incredible for Northern State.
Right now, Saul Phillips is over in the corner. Sam Masson, I believe, had some blood or something on his finger. He's just getting that taped up.
A little full court pressure here now for Upper Iowa. Again, forcing Northern State to play 94 feet. They'll back off.
So we mentioned Northern State's excellent record the past 4 seasons. This is the first time in a while they have not been the favorite at this tournament as Joe Smoldt gets the takeaway.
Again, Brooks McCowan took that timeout down 9 and really challenged his guys to step it up on the defensive end.
Duax rejected by Bush.
Again, great help side on the part of Bush.
Williams squeezing through, nearly got it to go. We'll have a loose ball foul on Upper Iowa.
Bush rotating from the backside. We saw him knock a pass away earlier. Would have led to an easy layup that time. He rotates to help his smaller perimeter defenders.
Not quite sure what they're taking a look at.
Not sure either.
I think they're clarifying who the foul is on, whether it was Reed or Duax.
Yeah, and I'm not sure because when he came out of there, I thought he almost had 4 fingers up. But
either way, thankfully, a quick clarification.
Yes.
Duax with the over-the-back foul we play on here with 4 minutes to go in the first half.
Northern State has a couple of guys out there, both Maston and Bergen, with those 2 fouls. Upper Iowa not dealing with any foul issues, at least with this lineup.
Maston for 3. Belka trying to get the loose ball. Williams comes out with a transition for Upper Iowa. Down low. Connor Duax.
I think he was going to try to throw an alley-oop, and Connor Duax thought better of it, said, I'm going to just make this catch, get my feet. Finishes with a nice reverse layup. Comes up for Iowa within one.
Walton Blandon. Another straight-on three for Caleb Walton Blandon.
Knocked a couple of them down with no defender in the vicinity.
Reed crossing over Bergen with the left. Tip doesn't go. Back over to Northern State.
Nice take. But again, contested at the rim. Nice job of defending without fouling. Moni back in the game as Bush and Bergen go to the bench.
Belka, reach in here on the drive. Connor Duax with a forearm.
Yeah, I think it may be Smoldt on the reach, but I think it was kind of, yeah, he's kind of got his right arm tangled up with the left arm, and Belka on that dribble penetration.
Walton Blandon behind the back, got Williams in the air.
Great job by Walton Blandon to get to the rim and kind of get Williams up out of position. And I think Williams is kind of sitting there going, really? That contact after what we've let go throughout the course of this game on both ends? Credit Walton Blandon for really playing well off the bench for Northern State. We've seen him knock down a couple of threes. That time, great recognition. Attacks off the bounce.
2 for 2 at the line. 10 points off the bench in the first half.
Yeah, big lift for this Northern State team. They're going to look for and take points from anybody they can get.
Smoldt. So good.
That is just really difficult to stop, even for Walton Blandon, a bigger defender at 6'3". Smolt's ability to create space and elevate. Soft touch.
Maston got the step. Rejected by Duax. Another chance here for the Wolves. Belka inside.
Smoldt got a hand on that as Belka went up with it. Belka not able to finish at the rim.
Williams will drive. Got blocked, but a foul on the drive. We'll get Belka.
Williams does a great job of kind of putting the pressure on. Belka saying, I got all ball. But Williams goes to the floor, looks a little awkward. That's not bad defense.
So Williams to the line. 6 points here this afternoon.
Yeah, 2 of 7. Hasn't really gotten into a rhythm yet. And you have to credit Northern State for their awareness level, knowing where he's at, not letting him get into a type of rhythm that where he can literally put his team on his back.
Williams hits both. As we mentioned, he missed 12 games during the season with a shoulder injury. But to Upper Iowa's credit, they went 10-2 without Williams, who was their leading scorer. And to give you an idea of how good Williams is, he missed essentially half the season and was still named an all-conference performer.
Well, that speaks volumes about the makeup of this Upper Iowa team, about the coaching job of McCowan.
3-on-1 break here for the Peacocks. Reed all the way.
That's a great little Euro step action.
And then Max Duax nearly got the steal in the backcourt. Maston, Reedy, corner three.
Hectic pace of play here. Both teams starting to settle in a little bit, adapting to how they're being defended.
Hilmer, short.
And Hilmer's got to be able to finish.
Maston, Belka. Swing it over, Walton Blandon. third triple of the first half for Caleb Walton Blandon.
Blandon has not missed from the floor, from the line. Perfection off the bench for Northern State.
Under a minute to go here in what's been a wildly entertaining first half. Smoldt backing down, the angle and the make. 21 first half points for Joe Smoldt.
He is playing at an exceptionally high level. Duax forces the turnover.
That's Max Duax this time. His turnaround is good. Upper Iowa with the lead.
Great recognition by Max Duax as he knew Maston with those 2 fouls was not going to be physical. Brooks McCowan pleased with his group battling back into this thing.
Saul Phillips takes a timeout here with 29 seconds.
You think these two teams aren't expending some energy this morning?
Maybe a little bit.
I always thought it was as good mentally for the team that won in the first. They were able to come and sit and watch these two teams battle it out. You can kind of watch them in that game setting, see who you're going to play the next day. Both of these teams utilize their bench 7 deep, 8 deep, or excuse me, 8 deep and 9 deep.
Final seconds here in the first half. Maston drives, hangs, can't finish. And that will end the first half. That shot after the buzzer. But a back and forth affair. Wouldn't expect anything less. It's a 1-point lead for Upper Iowa after the first 20.
Well, you talked about it. These two teams get after it a little bit. And they're both.
Start of the second half. 1-point edge for Upper Iowa. 41-40. Should be a fun final 20 minutes. Maybe more depending on how close this one is. Here at the Sanford Pentagon.
Buckle up, David.
Moni thought he got a foul call.
Yeah, you gotta remember that lesson you learned in the first half.
There is Joe Smoldt. Hot man in the first half. 21 points on 8 of 10. Picks up right where he left off.
That would be 9 of 11, David. That'd be 24 points so far. For Mr. Smoldt.
Inside, good cut by Maston, but he can't hit the bunny.
Ah, it was too easy, too open. His eyes off the rim.
Smoltz off from the elbow.
And that was a heat check. Never really got straight up, kind of floating to his left. Misses to the left.
Gonna foul away from the ball.
Yeah, maybe a deal for Jones, or you could kind of Jack Belford, maybe some cutting action.
Reedy inside. A sharp angle with the left hand. Body's flying to the backcourt.
Well, body's flying all over from that painted area. We talked about the officials letting it play. I have no problem with it. Tough finish in traffic. Bowls his way to the rim.
Dylan Jones, a quick 5-0 spurt here to start the second half for the Peacocks. Cole Bergen. Deep 3 is short. Moni gets the O board.
So open at about 15 feet.
Belka backing down, putting it in.
Goes right at Reed on the block. Both teams understanding. Handle the physicality, get up through the contact. Opportunities will be there.
Hilmer, another tough angle. He's hit a couple of those.
Yes. The degree of difficulty in which he and Smoldt can both score is mind-boggling. It's a lot of fun to watch, I will say that.
Get past in the corner to Reedy. Tried to find Belka, stolen by Williams.
Yeah, good idea, poor execution.
Williams, step back 3, yes sir.
Saul Phillips doesn't want this to get away from him at all, but this is what Upper Iowa can do.
It's a 10-2 run to start the second half. Joe Smoldt.
Example, along with guys like Smoldt and Hilmer, I don't even want to know the number of hours they've spent in the gym and putting up game speed shots. I'm not talking about walking around, but game speed shots. That's why these guys can translate their game to this level.
In the corner, Belka. Good look, just was off.
Yeah, great look out of the timeout by Saul Phillips. Got exactly what he wanted off that skip pass to Belka in the corner. Can Upper Iowa continue this offensive onslaught to start half number 2?
Smoldt inside. Jones got defenders in the air.
Well, that's what Smoldt will do. He draws the help, sets up Jones, and then Jones, little head fake in traffic.
Maston spinning in the lane. Got his own miss. Bergen. Reedy. Gus Reedy finally hits one from downtown.
Well, good find by Bergen. A good movement without the ball by Gus Reedy. Northern State needed that shot in the biggest way. Cuts the deficit to 8.
Hilmer working against Reedy. Inside. Stolen away.
I think he was going to try to dump that off, but Bergen took it away from him.
Loney tried to feed Bergen inside.
Hilmer 1-on-3, keeps pressure on, but good decision, pulls it back out. Upper Iowa, a little offensive explosion, but it's their defense. It's kind of held Northern State in check here to start this second half.
Smoldt. Nick Reed for 3. Maston back out to Belka for 3.
Much needed. Bergen was kind of head hunting, looking to set a ball screen on Jerice Williams, and Williams turned his head just soon enough to pull up. He was going to be right into that right shoulder of his that was injured and kept him out for those games.
Northern State leads the nation in 3-point attempts. They will shoot it to get back in this ball game.
Northern State knows they need to tighten up on this end of the floor if they want to keep creeping back in.
Foul on the floor, no basket.
They're going to get Money putting his hands on Nick Reed as he was using dribble penetration. Here you see both hands kind of come down on him. He grabs him literally around the waist, chest area. Easy call right in front of the official.
Inside, Cade Moritz had trouble handling it.
Well, they're going to get Belka. He was kind of wrapped up as he's going down. I think he kind of brought Moritz with him. And what you don't,
reaching at the end.
what you don't see is that left hand, left arm of Belka kind of wrap up Moritz around the waist, pull him backwards.
Moritz off on the first, 6'8" senior. Kind of a bruiser shot blocker type. He has a little bit of range. He can step out when he's needed to, but they like to use him at that 5 spot to kind of create some space and have a paint presence to get space for their shooters.
Absolutely. Does convert 1 of 2. Pushes that Upper Iowa lead back to 6.
Maston. Foul on the drive.
You got Lucas Duack saying, what do I need to do? I'm giving ground the whole way.
Upper Iowa extended the lead to 11, but Northern State got it back down to...
Catches that thing. I mean, he'll have a catch and shoot 3 from time to time, but otherwise he's catching, turning, and attacking, trying to create for his teammates or get himself to the front of the rim.
Maston hits the first for more on Sam. Let's check in with Elena.
Thanks, guys. I spoke with Northern State's assistant coach Josh Vaughn about how many underclassmen they have, 11 of 16, and how they get to know each other. He said a big part of that has been Josh Maston, and he said a big part of them coming together is his direction on the floor, in huddles, in practice. He said you can see him giving direction and advice, pointing where guys are supposed to go. He knows the system and he knows it well. And he said, guys, that's where the cohesion starts.
Thanks, Elena. Belka kind of got it taken away at the other end, but Maston's impact, again, as Elena said, on the underclassmen has helped Northern State be competitive this season. Little pinball action here as Upper Iowa regains possession. And then Max Duax got fouled in the air as he was making that pass.
They're going to get Bush on that foul. And we've seen, I'm going to say, turnovers forcing the action. It's in his minutes off the bench.
Here's Smoldt. Drives. He'll end up going to the line.
I might be getting Money on the reach in.
You get Walton Blandon with that late hand in. Still trying to shake off the cobwebs a little bit. Might have gotten hit in the eye.
This is one of the times where the Duax parents are extremely nervous with all three sons on the floor at one time.
Yes, that is true. We have Lucas Duax, Max Duax, and Connor Duax. And actually, Joe Smoldt got hit in the nose.
So that's known as the Duax
triumvirate trio. Well, there's Duax, then we joked about Triax because we need Triax cables.
Right, here you see, I think there's some inadvertent contact. Yeah, Walton Blandon gets a hand in there, so Smoldt's going to get over there. I don't know if there's blood drawn or not.
Yep, just got hit right upside the nose, but Smoldt appears fine.
We talked about it. The officials have been consistent both ways. Be ready to handle the contact. Won't always be a foul. Here's Williams back into the game for Upper Iowa.
Well, Joe Smoldt more than making up for his last appearance on this court here in the quarterfinal loss to Minot State last year. Toward the end of the game, he actually tore the labrum in his hip, had off-season surgery. If you're going to get an injury, at least you do it in the last game of the regular season. He was able to make a full recovery and come back for the extra COVID season and has more than done enough to help his team and his own cause. 26 points here this afternoon.
Playing at an exceptional level. Excellent job defensively again. Max Duax.
Bush tried to hit the three in rhythm. Walton Blandon the O board. Walton Blandon will try a three. His first miss of the ball game. Loose ball foul on Northern State, and it's on Bush.
Bush not upset, not happy with it, but Doug Batava, no doubt call in his mind. We're going to see Bush is kind of in behind. Happened right in front of the official. No doubt call in his mind.
Three now on Bush. Everyone else on the floor for Northern State has two personals.
Having to turn it up on this end. Tough finish. Moritz goes right at Bush.
Lead back up to 9 for Upper Iowa. Maston splits the D.
Excellent job. Go back to Bush, setting another bone-crushing ball screen in the backcourt.
Reaching on Maston. That'll be his third. Maston trying to wave off. Ball listens to him. And he does.
It does work. Trust me. He's saying, trust me. He's got 3 out there with 12:57 to play.
Now, of course, we'll never know if that was the original plan, but it looks like exactly. He waved off the substitution.
Yeah. We'll go with it. It makes for a better story,
it
right,
does.
David? Walton Blandon, great job defensively, moving laterally, staying in front of Williams.
Smoldt spins, step back. Off the top of the backboard, tapped out. Walton Blandon gets it. 2-on-1 opportunity. Walton Blandon all the way.
Yeah, excellent job by Walton Blandon. Realized Smoldt was kind of stepping away, allowing him free run to the basket. Northern State, little by little, working their way back in. Their crowd says, let's go, let's keep moving.
Crowd wanted a carry on Jerice Williams, no call. And Connor Duax was on the out of bounds on the end line.
Well, I'll go back to the no call on the carry. That was the right call. His hand stayed on top of the ball the entire time. Dribble got a little high. But then on the kick out, as you mentioned, guy waiting for the pass is standing on the sideline. I will say I've seen that more this year than just because of the line moving out just a little bit. A ton of those catches in the corner that result in turnovers, lack of awareness. Trying to turn the corner. Nice job by Upper Iowa defensively.
Too strong on that three from Walton Blandon.
Well, he started the game perfect. Missed his last couple now.
Hilmer pulls up, puts it in.
Just the mid-range game of Hilmer, Smoldt, Williams, so impressive. You have to get out and allow them that ability to dribble. There you're going to have the blocking foul.
Dylan Jones commits the personal.
But the ability of the Upper Iowa perimeter players to recognize people trying to take the three-point line away from them and then not over-penetrate, but pull up in that 12 to 15-foot range, just so difficult to defend.
Bergen, double came, tie up on the ground, back over to Upper Iowa.
Yeah, just great hands. Lucas Duax digging down, knocks the ball away from Bergen, and then jumps to the floor, gets the alternating possession, moving the direction of the Peacocks.
Trey Longstreet coming in for Sam Maston now.
I like it. Coach Phillips is going to give Maston a little bit of a breather here. Try to get him to that next media timeout under 10. Try to ISO Reedy on a post defense assignment. Duax down low.
Here's Lucas Duax. Rejected from behind by Bergen.
Bergen with a little payback after Duax dug down on him in the post area.
Bergen trying to work baseline. They'll go to the line.
Nice job by Bergen getting underneath, going to the reverse, and then using a little head fake here. He gets underneath, little head fake, then gets, as the arms come down, he goes right up through him. Easy foul call.
Bergen hits the first. 6'7" junior, originally from Aberdeen, went to Northern Colorado, transferred back home. And he was an integral part of last season's team before he unfortunately broke his foot in the last week of the regular season, missed the postseason. And Northern State just lost some of their bench production. That was a national championship caliber team last season. Bergen was a part of it.
Yeah, without question. And right now, this Northern State, mostly partisan Northern State crowd on their feet.
Hilmer pulls up again from the elbow and hits.
Tell you what, Hilmer and Smoldt and Williams have quieted more crowds with their ability to knock down big shots. Williams does a good job of playing off Longstreet, kind of discouraging that post-entry pass.
Jackson Money got fouled on a three. Back and forth, heightened emotions from both sides. Joe Smoldt, Jerice Williams, the sharpshooters for Upper Iowa. Northern State trying to keep pace. 62-55, 10 minutes to go.
NSIC tournament coverage on Midco Sports is presented by.
Here, he got fouled on a three before that last commercial break.
Yeah, that's a big foul, especially if Moni can step to the line and drain all three, cut this back to a 4-point deficit for the Wolves.
Moni was clutch down the stretch in their first-round win a couple days ago against Minnesota State. Went 6 of 6 from the line in the final minute.
Yeah, he is. You know, we talked about him, and this is the second.
There's that broadcaster jinx.
Yep. I blame you,
as most people do.
Yep. I take all responsibility and place it squarely on your shoulders.
Excellent.
But I just love what he's capable of bringing to the floor. Saul Phillips obviously loves this true freshman out of West Fargo Cheyenne High School.
Moni goes 2 of 3. The lead is 5. Williams wanted the step back. Very good defense by Maston.
Excellent, as you mentioned. Great observation. Maston all up in Williams.
Helmer. I believe there was a whistle well before the drive. I don't know if anyone heard it.
Yeah. This right on top here. Well, then both teams continue to go. Oh.
And then Helmer got hit in the head late. The foul, I believe, was up top, not that hit.
No, and I think that's the frustration. If you're Helmer, you're going, wait a second. He just slapped me across my head. Well after the whistle, and I don't disagree with you.
So Helmer will go to the line. Hits the front end of the 1-and-1. Helmer, one of the best free throw shooters. We're going to test the jinx again. One of the best free throw shooters in the country, 93%.
You just can't help yourself, can you? Oh, it did draw some front iron. It drew some front iron there, David.
1 for 2 on free throw jinxes.
Can Upper Iowa continue to turn it up on the defensive end? Can Northern State get this crowd back into it and approach the last 9 minutes of this quarterfinal men's game?
Bergen spins inside and hits.
Excellent job over the top of Nick Reed. Patient by Bergen. Great vision, realizing there was no double coming his way.
Helmer all the way.
That's when your Walton Bland's probably going, what do I got to do? Probably did a great job of moving, trying to stay in front of Helmer, but credit Helmer for really getting into him. It's hard to say that that's poor defense on the part of Walton Blandon.
Helmer, a two-sport athlete for Upper Iowa, plays baseball as well. And sometimes you think, oh, guys, two-sport athletes, they're really good at one sport and then maybe middling statistics in the other. No, he leads Upper Iowa's baseball team in batting average. He's their starting shortstop.
It's not bad.
Not bad at all. Yeah. Starting point guard, starting shortstop. Can't ask for much more.
No. I can honestly say that that's something that I didn't do.
Walton Blandon. We'll call an offensive foul.
And that was Therese Williams recognizing that, developing long before Walton Blandon. He turns a corner. That's a heck of a job by Williams to be moving in the proper direction, get to legal guarding position.
So that's 4 now on Caleb Walton Blandon.
Important possessions on this end of the floor for Northern State.
Helmer to Williams. Step back 3. Splashes in.
Caught it in the corner. Defenders flying at him. A little sidestep. Step back. High arcing. Soft touch.
Maston tried to find Bergen inside, stolen by Dylan Jones.
Well, excellent defensive possessions. Back-to-back times down the floor for Upper Iowa. They're trying to create separation. The clock ticks under 8 minutes. Up 10.
Smoldt inside. Jones is alone. Got Bergen in the air.
Smoldt commands so much attention. He catches in the middle of the paint, turns, faces, drops it down. Jones, as you mentioned, nice head fake, gets himself to the line. Bergen fortunately gets up, not hurt.
That's the 10th foul of the half for Northern State. So Upper Iowa in the double bonus for the final 7:45.
Well, they're so difficult to defend in so many ways, and a lot of it stems from the combination of Williams and Smoldt and Hilmer. Let's go Smoldt, Hilmer, and Williams with law firm being there. They create so much for their teammates.
So you think that order of nomenclature is best for the law firm idea?
Yep. Smoldt, Hilmer, and Williams. It just rolls off the tongue.
It does.
Yeah.
Lead back up to 11. Reedy was looking for Longstreet, but he zigged when he wanted him to zag.
Well, that's what defensive pressure will do to you. A little miscommunication, a little misreading. Down to 7.5 minutes. Upper Iowa, can they take control down the stretch? Can Northern State hang on and get themselves into a position where they can rally down the stretch?
Hilmer pulls up, puts it in again.
And he's feeling it. He's picking up where Smoldt left off. We haven't heard from Smoldt in a while, but everybody else picking up the load.
Block out of bounds will stay with the Wolves. Upper Iowa matching its largest lead of the ballgame right now at 13.
Massey continuing to stay downhill. Good job of recovering defensively, knocking that ball away.
Belka. He'll go to the line.
Dylan Jones on the arm. Northern State got to capitalize on these opportunities to close the gap with the clock stopped.
First one rattles in for Belka. 6'7" senior. He's actually going to grad school at Northern State next season. Would like to play again next year if possible. He's been one of the mainstays. The only guy from the starting lineup last season in the starting lineup again this season with all their Division I transfers. Parker Cox going to Minnesota. Andrew Coleman going to North Dakota State. Mason Stark going to Northern Arizona. It's a place where you can get a lot of talent, and Jordan Belka has elevated his talent and then some.
Down to 11. Hilmer splits the defenders.
Found Connor Duax. Now it's Williams in the corner. And another issue where they're stepping out of bounds.
Yeah, just getting too close to that sideline. They want to catch and stay behind the three-point line. And it's even, I think it's even added to a little bit with the NBA three-point line still down. I think it confuses some players as well. The college three-point line is the white line inside the outside black line, the dark line.
There's Belka. He'll step back. That one's short.
Smoldt down there getting on the defensive glass. There's no prima donna in this Upper Iowa team. They will get in there. They will mix it up regardless of where they're at on the floor.
Double comes on Nick Reed. Foul on the drive.
That's a tough one for Saul Phillips. Who's sitting there going, "Wow, we're defending pretty well. Let's not get him out with a foul late. If nothing else, make him finish at the rim, a contested shot or something like that." Shot clock gets into single digits. That's a tough one. It gives so much clock away.
Friendly shake, rattle, and roll for Williams.
Williams had a slow start, but you know what? He's just been there. Hasn't tried to force the issue at all. 3 of 6 from behind the arc. 5 of 6 from the line.
Lead back up to 13. Simone put it on the deck. Fed Belka. Can't finish. Belka rips away the loose ball, gets fouled by Reed.
That's a tough one. Reed did a great job of contesting on the first Belka attempt. But Belka continues to stay in there, stay after it. Reed goes up this time, gets him on the arm. I think that's a good call. Yes, he got the ball, but he also got the arm. You can't be trading baskets and trading scoring opportunities. Northern State's going to have to come out of this whatever they get and then really tighten up defensively, which is difficult against this Upper Iowa team with Williams, Hilmer, and Smoldt. So good at making plays with the ball in their hands, creating for their teammates, if not for themselves.
Cade Moritz will check in for Connor Duax. Hilmer and Williams with 16 apiece for Upper Iowa. Joe Smoldt with 26. Hilmer pulls up again.
Wow.
The mid-range and the long twos from Jake Hilmer have just been there all second half.
Yeah, they really have. He's just really picked up because of the focus placed on Smoldt. And you know what? Smoldt sat back and said, you know what? Fine, take over, brother. You're doing just fine.
That went off the back iron. Moni the O board. Gus Reedy driving inside.
Nice finish by Reedy. He's another guy they'll try to run off the three-point line. He uses the dribble as a pressure release. Much needed basket, but can they back it up with a stop on this end against an Upper Iowa team that is firing on all cylinders offensively?
Hilmer got the step, kicks it in the corner. Smoldt again steps out of bounds.
Yeah. Well, we talked about how good Smoldt was early in this game, but another member of the backcourt, Jake Hilmer, finding ways to get things done. The pull-up game, the mid-range game, attacking the rim, setting up his teammates, finding a way.
Northern State, 4.5 minutes to play in this one.
Well, it comes down to this. I mean, Northern State forces the turnover on one end, one possession at a time, and the room for error gets smaller and smaller.
Bergen. Walton Blandon. Big three for Caleb Walton Blandon. That's his 4th of the evening.
Good job by Walton Blandon to free himself. Great vision by Bergen. Kicks it across. This Northern State crowd on their feet, realizing we got to help pull this team across the finish line, trailing by 8.
Dylan Jones all alone for the dunk.
Well, great movement, great spacing, excellent pass, and a big-time finish.
Foul on Nick Reed. Here's another look at Dylan Jones.
Go back and just look at the spacing. Nobody in the painted area. Kind of that phantom screen. He's running to set the ball screen. Never goes. Just instead slips right to the front of the rim. Great recognition. Finished with authority.
Pelk gets the front end of the 1-and-1. Belka goes 2 for 2. Northern State trails by 8. Let's check in with Elena.
Thanks, David. At the time of the huddle, Coach Phillips said, guys, they've scored 7 in a row. We have to get stops, get downhill, force them to the free throw line, contest their shots, get them to step back, anything to slow their roll.
That's where it's got to get done, is on this end of the floor, Elena. Smoldt just says, don't forget about me, David Brown.
I don't think anyone can forget about Joe Smoldt driving inside for one of the few times this ballgame. He's got 28 now. Cole Bergen, deep three. Off the back iron. Hilmer chasing down the loose ball.
Yeah, just great awareness. You talked about Hilmer. beating everybody in the black uniform to the ball, sensing the urgency at hand for this Upper Iowa team to find a way to be able to move into the semifinals tomorrow.
Smoldt inside, rejected by Belka.
Great rotation by Belka, as you mentioned, David. Seeing Smoldt attacking the rim. Here you see 23 fly into your frame. Great help. Coach McCown wants to talk it over.
They'll take a quick timeout here with 2.5 minutes to go. His team up 10. 3 on the shot clock to try and design a play.
We talked about it.
Time win at Wayne State. It'll be the Huskies and the Dragons coming up at 1:30 here on Midco Sports.
Northern State, you can't take yourself out of the play on a shot fake.
Hilmer, tough fadeaway, nearly got it to go.
Good job on the glass by Bergen. Hilmer got a clean enough look.
Maston, they're going to call the offensive foul as Williams takes another charge.
That was really obvious. He really extended that off arm, and I love the aggressiveness of Maston, but you watch that right arm. He puts that elbow right into the chest of Williams. Initiates the contact, gains the advantage.
That's the 4th foul on Maston, and now it's really crunch time for Northern State defensively.
Yeah, it is. I don't think they can allow any more points on this end for Upper Iowa.
Hilmer working around. Williams, corner 3. In and out.
That's what you need. Is you need some of those to rattle out.
Belka inside, left it short. It'll stay with Northern State.
As you mentioned, great catch in traffic by Belka. He spins and short arms it a little bit. Northern State has to take advantage of every scoring opportunity.
Gus Reedy will come back in for Walton Blandon. Bergen for 3. That goes in. Lead down to 7. Quick timeout by Saul Phillips.
What you have to do is maximize the number of possessions. Quick trigger by Bergen on the inbounds pass as Moni catch and kick.
Back they are the #1 free throw shooting team in the conference, 78% as a team.
Looking to trap, maybe create a turnover. That's a scary pass.
And Coach McCowan calls a timeout here. Upper Iowa still in the backcourt. They have 4 seconds to get it across the timeline.
And that's the thing. The timeout technically will reset that. The 10-second count. But any retreating pass against full court pressure is always a little scary.
They get it to Hilmer across.
Yeah, Northern does not want to foul right now. And then Bergen does.
I don't know if that was intentional or not. I think they were just caught off guard by Hilmer's quickness.
Yeah, I think he was just kind of continuing to attack. That's going to send Bergen to the bench. That's a tough one because they got it down to a manageable number. And Saul Phillips is going to try to use a little bit of this player substitution time as a quick timeout.
So Cole Bergen fouls out with 9 points.
Hilmer just does not seem like that guy you want to put on the line. I mean, you even tried to jinx him earlier.
Well, he is literally the last person you would want there because he's the best free throw shooter in the conference. This will be a 3-possession game no matter what.
Exactly, and I think that's where Northern State has to look for the easy 3 early if they can get action to the rim quickly. Take your quickest scoring opportunity that makes itself available to you. If that's getting to the rim quick, go ahead and do it.
Reedy, stolen away by Williams.
That's a tough one. Credit Upper Iowa for just being on the hip of Reedy, knowing that Reedy was one of those guys they wanted to try to get a look from behind the arc, and then Reedy trying to give it up. Reese Williams, you know what, he's made his presence felt on both ends of the floor today. Knocked down some big shots, but we've also seen him taking charges, getting out in passing lanes. I got to believe Coach McCowan feels ecstatic to have him back in the lineup.
Shorts the front end of that first one. 1 of 2. The lead is 10. With 80 seconds remaining. Walton Blandon buries the 3, down to 7 again. They're actually going to call it a long 2.
That's a tough one. Full court pressure. Try to create the turnover, and then you may have to get into fouling situations if you can't turn them over in the backcourt.
Up head to Williams.
Try to play it out here.
Belka commits the foul on Williams.
I think the strategy isn't so much is to play it out, but it's try to be aggressive, try to force a turnover by maybe knocking it away, and if a foul gets called, a foul gets called. But either way, O'Brien would take an advantage at the line.
Look at some old Northern State players in the crowd. Lead back up to 10 here, under a minute to go. Maston will drive all the way.
Great job by Smoldt to split that double team, using the pivot, ball fake, stepping through.
That's the 5th foul on Maston. Good effort from Sam Maston.
It is, and you know what? I think if you're maybe the one most pleased by this would be Coach Wick at Duluth, watching both teams have to play their tail off and come back on one-day rest. And you're being able to sit up there with your team and kind of just watch this and take it in and see what you're in store for tomorrow.
Maston fouls out, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists.
He played his tail off. That's what it takes to beat good teams. You got to come out here with great effort and toughness. I think Northern State displayed that throughout the course of this game. Pushed Upper Iowa to the limit and took some really high-level offensive performances by the Peacocks just to maintain this lead down the stretch.
And that is a career-high 30 points for Joe Smoldt.
You talked about it. No better place he wants to do it. And Reedy rings one in to about 26, and Brooks McCowan just kind of shrugs his shoulders and goes, I don't know how you can defend that.
That is Reedy's specialty, and he cuts it back down to 7 with 37 and 9/10 to go.
Yeah, he just comes flying off this screen, squares his body in midair, and rings it in.
As we mentioned, Northern State, they lead not just the NSIC, but the nation, all of Division II in three-point attempts. So they're prone to use that outside shot to try and climb back in this one. Time is of the essence, however.
Yeah, absolutely is. You got Carter Lancaster and Kobe Bush both checking into the game. I don't know if they're trying to get some of the guys with the foul trouble to the bench, but they're maybe going to try to some full court pressure. Can they create a turnover, get a tipped inbounds pass? Maybe aggressively go after steals to see if they can knock one away. And if a foul is a result, the foul is a result.
Northern State out of timeouts now. The first game between these 8. Similar pace and production here combined once again.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
They get it into Hilmer. Hilmer running away from everyone right now and finally gets fouled by Money after about 4 seconds tick off.
Yeah, that's what you want is good execution on that inbounds play. And I like it when Coach McCown draws it up. If you get the ball to somebody like Hilmer on the move, where he can get up court, and as you mentioned, David, kill some of that clock before they're able to foul him.
Hilmer up to 21 now. Lead is 9.
Turn the corner, kicks it back out.
Walton Blandon off. Money the board. Gets it to Reedy. Another deep three from Gus Reedy off the back iron. Walton Blandon, he'll try again. Short. Belka short on the layup. Multiple chances here for Northern State. And it will stay with the Wolves here. Just none of them going in 20 seconds take off.
Yeah, if you look at the count, you're pleased to watch all that action just take time off the clock. Hard-fought effort by Upper Iowa against Northern State team, who really brought some great energy and toughness today.
Reedy in the corner. Hilmer ahead of the pack. He'll just dribble it out. And we will have a new men's tournament champion this season. Upper Iowa 89, Northern State 80. The Wolves season, they were regionally ranked, but they were number 10, so their season most likely coming to a close. 20 wins and 12 losses. Upper Iowa